English Broken Businesses. We are all about black excellence, bringing local entrepreneurs together to inspire and motivate you through business.
So it's simple. What you can do is to listen to this story and be inspired, and show to you guys nothing is impossible. If they can do it, so nathi singayenza bantwana basekhaya. Sit down and chill and listen to this wonderful story.
Follow your dreams.
It's English Broken Business, nothing but the best. It's a freshly Thursday, we bring you nothing but the fresh interview, mouth-watering stories. Vandag silagwa Langa bafethu. We're here to interview the guys from Isnika Laundry bafethu. You're gonna see their work. Come with me bafethu. Sharp. Sharp is bafethu. My friends. Big man. Hey. I can't even see. So where do we see Usia 2 years to come or 3 years to come? I don't want to see it's cool, you know. 2 years or 3 years to come. Where do we see Usnika Spa? Where do we see it? Do we still see it here, Langa, or do we still see it branching out?
Not even in 6 years. There's a project that I'm working on.
Oh, okay.
There's a development in Pinelands. I'll be opening up a store, I think, next Feb.
Jeez. It's English Broken Business, bafethu. We are here at Sneaker Spa, Sneaker Laundry. Sitibeke libeke, ivigi, nevigi. We always look forward to this freshly Thursday, whereby we bring you exciting stories. Stories that are here to inspire you, to motivate you. Stories that are here also to remind you, Mtansekai, it's possible. If they can make it, that we can, now you can make it, you know. So today we are here to interview Usia bafethu. Langa is a guy that is running a sneaker spa. As you can see at the background, there's a lot of sneakers here, and we want to find out which business. But before that, please, can you introduce yourself to our viewers?
Okay. Hi everyone. Utasi Yalona, aka Putmategi. Born and raised in Cape Town,
Sure.
and then from there I moved to Langa.
Yeah.
Moving in Langa, it was a different environment, different vibes.
Sure.
But Langa is one of the coolest areas
Yes.
I've been around. So growing up and knowing the streets, I came up with this sneaker laundry business.
Sure.
But it wasn't about coming to Langa and then opening up a laundry. It was the
You're
fact
just
that-
coming to relocate.
to relocate. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then because of it, COVID,
Sure.
I had to come up with something convenient, but at the same time, as an extra income, you know. So I was like, no, let me try this idea out, you know, and then that's where it all began. It's during that COVID times.
Sure.
Because it was in 2020.
Yeah.
when I established.
So now, Manusia, you're trying to tell us that this business was inspired by COVID.
In a way, yeah, I would say.
During that time, this is
During
like
that
2020,
time, yeah.
we are locked as in Dini, we can't go out, we can't go in Spain, we can't operate. And then when you had this massive idea, which, you know, there's people who've got beautiful sneakers, but then some of them they can't maintain. Some of them they don't know how to maintain, because not every sneaker needs a man's. Not every sneaker needs sunlight, you know. Almost sorry to mention the brands, but not every sneaker needs those washing powders, you know. So now when you had this idea with a son, I can wash sneakers abantu and still make inyugu out of it. All right, but I'm interested, Jowa Utu Usuye side A riding a Kailisha, a side B. How was it growing up a Kailisha, Priam?
Honestly, I won't lie. It was difficult, you know. Side B is just another cast, you know. I'm talking about crime.
Sure.
You know, growing up in an area in a crime rate that is very high.
Very high, sure.
So it was quite difficult.
Sure.
And I also think that's one of the things that forced my parents to actually relocate.
Oh.
You know, it was the fear of the area that we were in.
You might as well now so join her.
Exactly. So I think that's what pushed them away from.
Let's just take Usia out of side B.
Yeah, you know, like I even check now when I visit. I check. Okay, I grew up with this, but we're saying
So amachita, they not as focused as you. Abanye ba lose life.
I won't say. Sometimes the environment kind of pushes you to the
Yeah,
other way.
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
the society, the pressure of the society
Sure.
sometimes actually push you to another idea.
Exactly.
To another ways, I would say. Yeah, so I wouldn't
Exactly.
say they are not focused. Maybe they didn't get the opportunities that I got growing up. Because remember, if I'm relocating from culture, that means maybe Iskela, I'll have to change Iskela
Sure,
to another
sure.
route. So bona they still stuck a later. So so sometimes being exposed that much to environment,
Sure.
it's quite hit us.
Yeah.
Yabo, but I'm still cool. I'm still a Kailicha board, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And shout out to your Kylie, Shagopi, and also shout out to your parents when I see you. As parents, when they see with a son, I'm a parent myself, ngumzali, so as a parent yourself, you can foresee more things, which it's best, I move him or and take it somewhere else, because the environment has got a lot of influence. Whether I would say Josie, whether we say PE, whether we say Cape Town, the environment will always have influence over it. So I can understand which usuka kuphi. And I know it's side B. I've been there. I've been there, side B, and it's very tough there, And seeing you becoming the person that you are, also your side B, who has built himself this business, big up to that when I'm for it. You understand? It's not everyone when I'm for it. That would have such a massive idea and also put it, into work. Because many people now my ideas. But they can't materialize it.
Exactly.
So there's nothing constructive. So meaning that when you had to move from that space, from that environment, and find yourself, which I am Sia, Ezusia, Gifunani, and then you started this business. So now we're going back to 2020 because it was during COVID. When you started now, because renting place business was shutting down, business. Did you just come here, get a store, wins engine?
Let me share something that most of the people, they don't know
Sure.
about. Firstly, I was a civil engineering student. I was into property.
Is it?
I was even a chairperson for Western Cape under Ukachain Architecturals in Durban.
Jeez,
Yeah.
for real?
That's something that people, they don't know. So, but you know what's weird? That's actually where I found myself. Sometimes you need to be out of high schools and stuff where you can see. And I feel like that's one of the things that's hitting the youth.
Yeah.
Whereby I'm doing medicine, and then the next day is like social.
Medicine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think I was also caught up because I did civil engineering, and then at some point I was like, how about I turn this into business? Instead of following up and studying like for about 7 years, 3 years, I was like, let me rather register a construction company.
Sure.
See where I can push, because at least I had that knowledge. And then, unfortunately, things didn't work out at that time.
Okay.
That was before 2020.
Sure.
And then in 2020, I was working at some company in Epping, but because of COVID, and then they started like, okay, now instead of working 7 days a week, now you work 3 days.
Sure.
So there was a difference financially, So I was like,
Safani.
So I was like, you know what? Because I love sneakers, and the way that I clean my sneakers, it's better than how I see someone else does it. So let me just do a research, see how to get the best out of a sneaker. See where can I get the products. It started there, and then I was like, okay, let me clean my 2 pairs, and then my sister was like, can you clean mine? Then I'll pay you 20 rand. I was like, now it's like.
So your first client was your sister?
Yeah. And then I was like, this is actually coming to where I want.
Sure.
Luckily, there was someone who was on my status, because what I did was, before I actually like, okay, now I'm going to start formalizing the business. I was like, let me first see how the public is going to react to it.
Okay.
Let me market it like a week or 2 before.
Sure.
Okay, there will be something like this happening, and then everyone was like, can I bring money? And I'm like, okay, this actually can work.
Now people are start coming in.
Exactly.
Now.
Before I even start. So I was like, I'm starting something that's there already.
Yeah.
So it's like something that people, they weren't aware about, but willing to support it.
Sure.
Hence, it didn't take me very long to get it, because I'm like two years in the business.
Wow.
But I own a store already. So from there, I usually go to work, and then it was in 2020, about September. The 20th. that's when I started like, okay, now I'm
Full time now.
venturing into this business now,
Sure.
you know. But I was like, okay, I get 5 pairs a day, and I'm like, okay, let me go to work, come back, clean maybe the pairs, and then the person will get it maybe tomorrow, a day after.
Yeah, then now you're
You know,
spanning.
Until I reached a point, I think 6 months later, where I was sitting like 50 something pairs in my room. You know? And then you're a guy, and then you're sitting with 50 pairs. There's all those sneaker smells, and then
Fun, yeah.
now I can't even bring a girlfriend in. You know,
Sure.
in my own room, bruh, like I couldn't even have a space like to walk.
Oh, to walk
I
in
didn't
your
have that
own
freedom.
room.
So I was like, let me approach my parents, man. Let me see, like, because first living with them, they didn't like the idea that I'll have to resign it back and focus on this thing.
always the case.
But for
Always
me,
the
like,
case.
I saw the vision. I was like, if it demands more of my time, and when I do the figures, when I do like the financial figures, I see that it's actually meeting
Why
what I was
not?
getting. So
Yeah,
why
why
not? Let me give it a
not?
shot.
Sure.
If I fail, I fail.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So from there, I was like, I can't sit with like 100 pairs in my room. So like, I'm a guy. You know?
Yeah.
I'm a big.
And they come with different smells and all
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let me try to use my parents' space, which is the garage. You know, when they work during the day, I bring the sneakers, they clean them, then later on I just take them back in the room. I didn't have a space back then. And then luckily I've met a guy who was doing the same business concept from Joburg.
Oh, okay.
Lita Umukwena, shout out to the guy, that guy.
Shout out to you,
actually,
Leeds and Faith. Shout out to
he
you.
actually gave me that thing because I was like to him, bruh, I am seeing this space, you know. I'm afraid to move away from my comfort zone, you know.
Sure.
Because here now, there will be rent, there's renovations.
Exactly.
And remember, I started a business out of my pockets, you know. There was no funding, there was no
funding.
family, no funding, bruh. So I was like, I want this space, but now there's like renovations that need to be done. Because I actually renovated the space, the paints,
Sure.
the shelving and everything, even in the floor.
The carpets, yeah.
So I was like, if I'm moving in there, then that would mean that I'll need like some financing. But I didn't give up. I came here, put my stuff. I was like, as time goes, then I'll also grow.
Wow.
And then here I am today.
Wow, what a very inspiring story when I'm Ganwam. And you know what I like? You mentioned Uguti, you were doing civil engineering, you know? So sometimes we do careers to please our parents, you know? Koni Ipani, maybe you are watching us. Maybe you are a doctor, you are a police, you are a lawyer, you know, whatever you are, you know, you are doing that career just to satisfy abazali bakho, your parents, because your parents are like, sikufundisile, we took you to school, we paid so much X amount, but whenever you wake up saying you are not happy in that job, you know, it's not what motivates you. Akusinte kuphushayo. And coming back to you, Sia, I don't think today you have a problem even if someone can bring like a sneaker wakau 10. You get happy because remember you've got passion for sneakers. That's where it starts. Yabo? So if something is your passion, you just need to know how to monetize it. Yabo? So there's people that have got a passion of something, but they don't know how to monetize it. Because we might be wearing the same sneaker, but when yours are always on point, you know, your laces, you know, your laces, everything, you're on point, you understand? So that means if there's a demand, then meaning that you can make it in iman, you know? So now I want us to discuss the financials, which I know is a very crucial part, but then when you started and then getting Lendawole, because it was during COVID, were you able like to pay your rent and all that? Because now you need to get something.
That's the difficult part about starting a business, especially Lokshin. You know, firstly, most of the businesses, I feel like startups at Lokshin, the business needs to grow, but at the same time, you also depend on it to do like, your financial needs and stuff. So for me, now I had to move from myself to the business. So the business was a priority before me now.
Yes,
That meant whatever cent that I had to invest it, you know.
Jesus. So you're taking it back.
I have to take it back. Even if it's like savings that I had to make sure that I invest in this business, make sure that it succeeds so that I can get something out of it, you know. But for me, it was something different, man, because I loved what I was doing and I had a vision, like where I wanted to be, you know. So I was like, okay, let me set a time frame, you know. I'm working from home. If ever give myself 6 months, make this much, maybe make something that will cover the rent for like 3-4 months.
Like paying in advance.
In advance,
Sure,
yeah. 'Cause
sure,
that's
yeah.
the way. And then
Relax,
by
yeah.
that, I will see like how is the business doing, you know, and then see if I made a good or bad decision.
Sure,
You know, because for me, I was like, I don't mind running here for 3 months, fail, then go back home. You know, but luckily for me, because of the traffic that's happening around here, the business grew, and then on social media. And I'd also like to thank everyone who shared our work, everyone who posted,
Lovely, lovely.
everyone who was with us since day one, everyone who's still coming, you know.
Sure.
Those are the people that made it possible for me to actually like be like, okay, fine, now I'm here, I'm comfortable, but it was really difficult. Remember, I didn't have any business background.
Jeez.
I didn't have.
Nje waqala nje
I just started,
washispan
and then now
waqala.
this thing is like you start something and it's like boom. Then now it also requires you, because I feel like as much as the business grow, you also need to grow.
Of course,
You know?
of course. Yeah,
It
yeah.
forces you to
Balance,
grow.
yeah,
Exactly.
balance, yeah.
Because, but I think the other thing is now is not that guy who's out there, you know. I think one of the reasons in the business that is fail is that you start something, when you start blowing, you start feeling like a boss. You sit back, and then you're like, okay,
Comfort
now,
zone.
I won't lie, I'm always here. Whenever I'm always here carrying sneakers, you know.
Jeez. That's a real businessman, because a business person, uma uye business in like you have to find the person, the owner or the manager or the founder, whatever it is, you understand. And even us, when we came here, like we're shocked with CS actually inside. I thought good maybe bazokufonela kuqala ukuthi tasiya amajita sewafikile kanti you are here, and like you are hands on, you know, like you don't work alone, you've got abantu esipana nabo, you know, and you're hands on. But then again, ngifuna ukwazi when I'm forward now that you've got this business, and I believe it's not where you want it to be, but it's going there, it's growing. Because remember, you started with 50 sneakers, right? And then now you're sitting at over 200, I think.
Yeah, this was a lot. I don't know. Like the numbers doesn't even matter anymore.
It doesn't
Like,
matter anymore.
Like I don't even recall how many, because what I know is I'll never go a day without maybe receiving even over 20 or 30 a day. You know?
Wow.
I used to worry about how many sneakers I'll get today, how much money.
Yeah.
It doesn't even
It's
matter.
no longer now about the money, but it's about giving the service to Ebantwini. So what makes Iraideng Sneaker Spa different from other businesses? Because akona maybe namanya machita around, you know, it'd be like, nati sneaker sales wash, but what makes yours unique? What makes yours to stand out?
First of all, no, I'm not that person who's like, I'm not a person who competes, you know, and I also believe that I've opened up to a machita that are still growing, you know.
Okay.
I'm also still growing, but
Yeah.
I call a machita like, hey, this is beautiful, I'd like to study. I'll like, okay, you can come in, I'll teach how to clean, share my products.
That's great,
and then
bruh.
see,
That's
because
great. That's great.
I
That's
believe
great.
there are a lot of daily
So you
sneakers for
share
everyone.
knowledge. You're very
Always.
accessible, ne?
Like,
That's a businessman.
there's
a
a lot of guys
lovely.
that I would mention.
Abavaleli ngaphandle.
There's guys from Kukuletu, there's guy from Mfuleni, there's guy out of Cape Town even. You know, that I always share my info with. Because so I think what makes us unique is that we're flexible.
Oh, okay.
For example, firstly, I would say the products, they are doing the trick for us.
Okay.
Because normally to other sneakers laundries, they like, okay, you drop off and then they're like, we'll call you when your sneakers are ready. That's also something that I went in just to see how can I be
When
different.
you're doing your research.
Exactly.
Sure.
Like, there's no lot of, I don't want to mention names, but
Yeah,
there
of
are a lot
course, don't.
Yeah. There are a lot of sneaker laundries around that I came into the business that they were there already. You know? So for me, it was like studying them and see where can I maneuver in. You know?
When you improve,
Between.
labaleka
So
khona when you
what-
improve.
What I did now, I was like, you know what, I want to offer a service that they don't have.
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
So the best way was to find the product for that service. So our express service is still number one. Where you
Express service.
Express service. That's
Okay.
where you drop your sneakers today in few hours time. It's done, ready.
Unama.
I'm telling you.
Wow. So express
telling you.
now comes with a certain amount or
Certain amount, obviously.
Oh,
Because like we prioritize your sneaker. Not to say we don't prioritize the others, but
yeah. This is
you-
express.
this is
Express. Yeah,
service,
into
Mama.
Shesha.
You need
Yeah.
your sneakers today.
Yeah, I've
and
got
like-
an event and attend a fanda, so I need my sneakers like fanda.
That's what makes us unique. Plus, our products, they don't mess up the color.
Jeez.
They don't mess up a shoe. hence I've never got any of
Ama-reviews, maybe umuntu complain
Exactly.
nayo, yeah.
I do get complaints sometimes that I'm not happy with this. Sometimes it's not our service, I would say, but maybe just a simple mistake or, because I'm working with people.
Yeah.
And here I can't handle like whole 100 sneakers and do the
We
checkouts
want,
after
yeah.
you
But we are working on that and we are
Exactly.
improving on that. But the best thing is that what makes you stand out is that if mina manje ngiyafika, I need a sneaker, you can do it and it can be ready today.
Exactly. Yeah.
So when you still maintain the color, you still if it's suede, you're suede.
Yeah.
Wow, lovely work, mngani wami. Siyabonga mngani wami. So where do we see Usia 2 years to come or 3 years to come? I don't want to see it's cool, 2 years or 3 years to come. Where do we see Usnika Spa? Where do we see it? Do we still see it here, Langa, or do we still see it branching out?
Not even in 6 years. There's a project that I'm working on.
Oh, okay.
There's a development in Pinelands. I'll be opening up a store, I think, next Feb.
Jeez.
Now, that will be the sneaker spa.
Wow.
I'll keep this one running, though.
Yeah.
That will be our first
Branch.
Yeah.
Oh,
our
okay.
first branch, which
Yeah.
will be totally different from what you see because
Okay.
of the designs. I don't know how I would share it, but I will show you maybe after the interview.
Yeah.
I've shared it all. I've shared it already though, so it's not a secret. I'll be branching out to Pinelands. There's a Conrad Center that's still in building process, so under construction. So next year it's our year, I would say.
Wow.
To grow and also, spread the
Expand.
wings and expand.
Lovely, mngani wami. And I believe it's gonna happen, Brian. It's gonna happen. Like, I love your work ethic. The fact that we found you a space in Sako, we found you on time, and we got you like hands-on. So that says something about you. That says something about you. Even nabasebenzi bakho, you are not someone who just preaches, but you practice what you preach.
Yeah.
So that says, mngani wami, there's still a long way to go, and there's a lot of possibilities which you're gonna make it. Tina, as English Broken Businesses, siyabonga mngani wami for inviting us into your very busy space, into your business. Ungumuntu vele osebenzayo, and we wish you all the best. And then umusuvula next year, Feb, please do invite us. We want to come there, mngani wami. We want to capture those moments. Please.
I'll definitely do.
Please invite us. Invite us as English Broken Business. We're gonna have another one, City Beke Libeke, Ivigi Nevigi. Bafethu, this is it for today. We're wrapping up this interview with Utasia, Mr. Sneakers, Mr. Sneaker Laundry, Mr. Sneaker Spa, Upudmategi. Upudmategi. Bafethu siyabonga. He's doing an amazing job. Tasia, where can they find you?
You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, but we're not that active on Twitter. We're also on TikTok, but even there we're not that active, but we're mostly active on Instagram, Facebook.
Who are you on Instagram?
It's _sneaker spa, _sneaker spa.
_sneaker spa.
Yeah,
and then on Facebook?
It's sneaker spa, capital S, and then sneaker, then capital S for spa.
Wow.
Yeah.
So before Sivala mngani wami, I just want to find out, like Lama Air Force, right? What is maybe your entry? Just for a sneaker like this, go to Swash. What's your entry?
Our entry, which is it's like a standard price, is 80
Standard.
Rand. 80 Rand.
80 bucks.
80 Rand, yeah.
Oh,
80
okay.
Rand. And then it also depends on the material, because for white canvas, like Aboma All Stars, Aboma Superga, or whatever, but as long as it's a white canvas, then it's 100 Rand.
It's 100 Rand.
Yeah.
Buffett, we can afford the 100 Rand. We can afford the 80 bucks. Let's do come, please, Buffett, and support Utasi, Buffett. Autiam, Yawalang, Autiam Misuge Kailicha is based Lagwalang, Buffett. Let's please contact him on WhatsApp, contact him on Insta. Strictly business. Beke libeke, ivigi nevigi. Tanko siya, tanko Buffett. See you next week. Thanks, Mbanwam, ne? Thank you so much. That was quick. That was lovely.